Welcome to Lecture L5 of Computer Programming Fundamentals, L5.C, Hello World. Your first computer program will be developed in this lecture, namely the traditional Hello World program, which will display Hello World on the console or computer screen. My first program will be coded in the C computer programming language to demonstrate the computer programming language procedure-oriented paradigm. The development of the Hello World computer program will be taken through the source compilation, build, execute computer program development process, utilizing the computer programming tools discussed in Lecture 4. So let's get started coding, compiling, building, and executing. Let's take a look at the source code created by the Notepad text editor. This text file is named L5.C to conform to C computer programming language conventions. That is, all file extensions must end in the letter C. For example, program name.c, where in this example the program name is L5 to correspond to Lecture 5. Note the white space surrounding the text. For example, the spaces and blank line between the #include and the int main left paren void right paren line. This white space has no bearing on how the compiler processes the source code text. For example, there could be two blank lines between the #include and the int main left paren void right paren line. This would make no difference, as white space makes no difference. What makes the difference is the delimiting characters. The limiting characters like semicolons, braces, double forward slashes, etc. Okay, let's look at each line of the computer program source code text. The first line, double forward slashes L5.C, my first program, Hello World. Here the double slashes indicate that this is a line comment. Comments are ignored by the compiler. The only purpose is to document your computer program source code. In this case, the first line tells us that the computer program file name is L5.C, and it is my first program called Hello World. The second line, #include less than sign stdio.h greater than sign, is denoted to the compiler by the #. The # tells the compiler that this is a compiler preprocessor instruction, telling the compiler to include the pre-coded source file called stdio.h with your source code for the Hello World program. stdio.h is short for Standard Input-Output Header File. stdio.h is provided by the Miracle C Workbench. Including computer pre-coded computer program source code saves you time, produces more reliable and error-free computer program source code, in this case for inputting data and displaying results. As a result, you don't have to create computer program source code for each computer program, because this function is already defined as pre-coded computer program source code. Pre-coded computer program source code that can be reused over and over for each of your own computer programs. The next line examined is int main left paren void right paren. This is most important line of the computer program, because every C computer program must have a main function definition. A function definition that contains all the computer program instructions specific for your computer program, located between the opening left brace and the closing right brace, which are called program blocks that delimit your computer program source code. The two lines of code between the braces will be executed sequentially from top to bottom. This computer program code is considered the main line of the computer program. Getting back to the main function definition header, the int keyword preceding main specifies the data type of the variable value that will be returned. returned when the computer program instructions within the main function definition are executed, in this case an integer data type. Finally, the keyword void within the parentheses specifies that the main function requires no data variables to direct the execution. In other words, the main function in this case is void of parameter variables. Okay, now let's look at the two computer program instructions contained within the main function definition. Note the semicolons terminating each of these computer program instructions. Remember, white space is irrelevant, but semicolons are relevant. They delimit or tell the compiler when the computer program instruction ends. Okay, let's look at the most important computer program instruction in main. Printf, left paren, double quote, hello, space, world, backslash, n, double quote, right paren, and semicolon. Printf is a function that is called or executed. Where do you think the printf function definition comes from? Well, its definition is included in the stdio header file. So we are merely calling a predefined function that was included by the preprocessor directive designated by the #include. The function is named printf, short for print function, because in the 1970s, when the C computer programming language was developed, we did not have computers with consoles that display output. We had printers, but today printf displays output on the console. The next consideration is what to display. When a function is called, an argument must provide specificity for the call. This provides the function call with a signature. In this case, the argument specifies the signature. The argument is included between the parentheses, namely left paren, double quote, hello space, world, backslash n, double quote, right paren. The opening and closing double quotes tell us that this is a literal argument that will literally display hello world. The backslash n will position the console cursor a line below the hello world after hello world is displayed, where the backslash designates an escape character to follow. The character n to follow is short for new line. The final computer program instruction returns a 0 at the conclusion of main's execution, a 0 being an integer data type, as specified by the keyword int that precedes the main function definition header. Next, we compile, build, and execute the Hello World computer program, and more importantly, analyze the results. The result as expected given this analysis of the computer program source code. After creating the computer program source code file L5.c for the Hello World program, the next step is to compile and build the standalone executable, namely L5.exe. After loading L5.c into the Miracle C Workbench's work area by choosing Open from the File drop-down menu, now that L5.c is loaded, choose Build from the Run drop-down menu. Executing the build command will automatically perform the compilation step, followed by the build step, noted by the workbench's message, build completed. Next, we will execute L5.exe, the standalone executable, analyze the result, and the files produced during the completion of the 4 steps of the source compilation, build, execute, computer programming development process in the command processor. Note the execution of the standalone executable from within the command processor. At the command prompt, C:\\cpf\. Since L5.exe has an exe extension, all is required is L5 to launch the standalone executable. Okay, now let's look at the results of the launch. Note the precise display of Hello World. Hello space world. Also note the blank line between the display of Hello World and the reoccurrence of the prompt C:\\cpf. This was caused by the new line escape character. For example, \n being made part of the Hello World argument in the printf function call. Next, note the directory L5. command at the top of the screen. This lists all the files associated with L5 having any extension, hence the asterisk designating a wildcard value for the extension. Also note the prompt C:\\CPF, where C: is the drive and CPF is the directory housing all my computer program code. CPF short for Computer Programming Fundamentals. I warned you I like short acronyms for directory names. See all the files starting with the L5.c and ending with L5.exe that are generated during the source compilation, build, execute computer program development process.